Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here, coming at you today with a Power Rangers rumor, courtesy of Jinsaku, so take with a grain of salt. I know a lot of people don't like his rumors, but I thought it would be at least interesting to talk about for a couple hypotheticals. But the rumor states that they are going to extend the Playmates deal by 6 years, that they may be able to do more teams, and that they have intention to do more teams, more complete teams. Now this does go along with stuff I heard, like rumors at the Playmates showing at Toy Fair that they wanted to do more teams in the future. Again, take this with a grain of salt. It is weird that this would be like in talks before the first wave even came out. I think like if it comes out and it does really good, maybe that's what they're waiting on. Maybe they're kind of setting the stage of like, okay, this is a contract we could do, and if the toys do well, we'll go forward with it. But there's two things I wanted to talk about with this that I thought was interesting. One is like how the reboot would be affected by this. Not how it would be affected by it, but would they do the toys for this? And then also, you know, could we get complete teams? Should we hope at all? We'll dig into that a little bit. But first with the reboot, people have been asking me and wondering ever since the news for both of these things came out, would they do the toys for this? Honestly, we don't know at the moment. We don't know anything. I would guess that they would. I've watched the first episode of Percy Jackson, and it's a little bit younger leaning than I even thought. I don't think Power Rangers will necessarily be that young leaning, especially with the casting. Like, I don't think we're going to get a team of Justins. If it's anywhere near that tone, it definitely lines up to have a kid's toy line, but I think Playmates also does collector stuff. Also, if Hasbro's going through all this trouble to do this deal, possibly, and do 6 more years, I can't imagine that they would go through the effort of kind of putting the effort on somebody else just to put the toys back in production for themselves. That would just seem really weird to me. So I'm going to imagine Playmates will do the toys for the reboot, if it ever happens. Time will tell. Now, as far as the other seasons go, I'd be curious to see how they do it. Again, I think it's going to depend on how this line does, obviously. But would they go in order? Would we just be strictly in order, kind of like the Legacy line would be, like we do season 1, 2, 3, Zeo, so on and so forth? Or would we experiment and jump around? I honestly would kind of like that. Like maybe do seasons 1 through 3 of MMPR basically, and then do Zeo, but then maybe do like Wild Force or something. I don't know, just because I think that it would take too long to go through chronological. I don't want them to jump around. I mean, I personally wouldn't be upset if they did this, but I don't think they should jump around in terms of doing like, after they finish MMPR, do like a wave that was like Lightning Collection where you get a different assortment of them, because I think then when they inevitably stop it, it makes it harder to complete teams. I honestly don't think we're gonna get a situation where we complete everything. Like we're gonna have from MMPR to Cosmic Fury and beyond. I mean, there's so many to cover. That's the problem, is whenever you start a Power Rangers line with the intention of this, Power Rangers isn't a successful enough brand to carry it so that we're able to get a complete team lineup of all the teams, all matching and stuff. And I know that's super important to a lot of people, and I totally get it. That's kind of why, like, since I collected since I was younger, all the main wave figures from Bandai, that's kind of what I consider to be my collection being complete in terms of having each team is having the first individual basic figures instead of one lineup. I know they don't all match, but that's the way I did it, so it doesn't bother me as much that like Lightning and stuff wasn't completed. Don't get me wrong, I would have liked to seen it completed, but that's why that doesn't bother me as much. But unless this reboot takes Power Rangers off and we have a Renaissance fair, I can't stop saying like Ted Mosby, a Renaissance, I can't see us completing it. So I wouldn't put your hopes up of like, yes, we're going to have all these teams and everything's going to match and I'm going to have every single team. But we could get a decent amount of teams if this does somehow take off. I'm not the biggest fan of the way the collector's figures look, so I'm not too excited. I don't hate them or anything, but they don't look as good as the Lightning Collection in my opinion, but we'll see how it evolves. Also, I'm kind of two minds on it, because if they do this, I'd rather see them like focus on one season at a time. Like after Zeo, if they do Wild Force or Lightspeed or something, just do that. But I also wouldn't mind if they trickled in some figures. Like let's say we're doing MMPR Season 2, and to vary up the basic figures in addition to stuff like maybe metallic figures, that's season 3, we know what I mean, but and White Ranger, maybe you do like a Wild Force or Ninja Storm character. Again, that's kind of defeating what I just said about not doing it randomly, but it certainly would add some variation there. It'll be interesting to see. And also, does this mean that we're gonna get like a remaster, AI remaster or whatever each season on YouTube to go along with it? I can't say I'm that excited for that. I hope the discourse for that can die down a little bit now that we know that the reboot might happen, because before people were treating it like that was gonna be the new main show, which was the MMPR reversioning, whereas I just saw it as kind of like a side project, kind of like sometimes toy lines will make little shorts or programs on YouTube to advertise it. That's the only thing I saw it as. I mean, I know it was the only main thing going on, but it seemed silly to me that people were seeing that as that's the main show. It wasn't like MMPR 2010 where it was meant to be the main show in a way. It'll be interesting to see if this reboot ever happens too. It's funny because in a way, compared to like the real Dead period, there's kind of a lot technically going on with the toys about to come out and the Disney reboot being worked on, but it just feels like it's not real because we've been through so much where things have been canceled that I feel like we're all just treating it like something that we're waiting to prove its existence. So I hope we get more updates soon that we'll know what's happening with everything. And I hope this line does do well so that we can actually get more stuff and keep PR toys on the shelves, but we'll have to see. But what do you think? Do you think there's a chance we'll eventually get all the seasons? Do you think they're going to handle the toys for the reboot? Let me know what you think in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.